Hello, everyone. So Tesla has released their 2022 impact report. So I thought we'd go through it together here. It's a long report, but they have a shortened version that just has the highlights. So I'll try and just highlight the highlights because it is quite a long document. So let's check it out. A sustainable future is within reach. So here's their opening remarks here. Our mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. To accomplish this mission, we need to design products that are far superior to their fossil fuel counterparts in every way, source and manufacture them as sustainably as possible, and sell as many of them as we can. We believe the best way to do this is by offering an ecosystem of products that comprehensively addresses our world's clean energy generation, storage, and transportation needs. Every vehicle we sell, battery we install, and solar panel we add moves the needle in the direction of a sustainable future. Thank you to the Tesla team, customers, and supporters for bringing us closer to our goal in 2022. And yeah, a lot of this we heard in the Investor Day from the Master Plan Part 3. So a lot of this is repeated, but I think it's worth checking this document. We'll try and find some highlights that maybe we missed in the Master Plan Part 3. A message of hope. 80% of global energy comes from fossil fuels. Tesla's data shows that 20% of the current energy generation is from sustainable sources like hydro. I don't know if they include in there nuclear. Don't know if they'd put that in that category. Fossil fuels comprising 80% currently of our energy production. But as noted, furthermore, the current energy economy is wasteful, with only 1/3 of global energy produced delivering useful work or heat. A sustainable energy economy requires 50% less total energy, because it'll be more efficient in the use of that energy. Most people assume that electrified civilization requires the same or more energy than a fossil fuel economy. That is not true. A sustainable energy economy is clean and far more efficient, requiring only half the primary energy of a fossil fuel economy. The transition to sustainable energy will reduce global mining and extraction needs. So this is showing how much is needed to mine current energy sources, fossil fuels. So these dark gray are the fossil fuel trucks that represent what's needed to extract the fossil fuels currently in use. And Tesla is saying that there'll still be a base that is needed, but the mining that is needed to supply the fully sustainable economy is much less. And they say, no, these are the minerals that we focus our responsible battery sourcing efforts on, particularly lithium, nickel, and cobalt. And this may be looking into the future too, where there will be more recycling of batteries. So as far as extraction goes, there would be much less in the fully sustainable economy when recycling becomes more prevalent. The investment required is manageable and achievable. Total land use, capital investment, and resource requirements are achievable. Additionally, a sustainable energy economy actually requires less investment and less material extraction than continuing today's unsustainable path. While we are uniquely focused on accelerating the world's transition to sustainability, a full transition will require efforts far beyond Tesla. In Master Plan Part 3, we highlight 5 key areas that we believe can most dramatically advance the shift to sustainability. Renewability, power the existing grid, 22% switch to electric vehicles, 23% switch to heat pumps, an area Tesla has yet to get into much, high temp heat, delivery and hydrogen, sustainably fuel planes and boats. The path to 100% sustainability by 2050. To accomplish this 5-step plan, the world's annual deployment of solar and wind and annual production of batteries will need to continue to grow. We believe these growth rates are achievable. Solar and wind, they're saying only a 3 times increase is needed from the 2022 deployment rate of 1 terawatt per year deployment until 2050. So every year we need to deploy 1 terawatt hour to be fully sustainable by 2050. Vehicle stationary and thermal battery production, current deployment 0.54, required deployment 16 terawatt hours per year, every year until 2050 to be fully sustainable. So much more work needed to be done there. Electric vehicle production, millions per year, 11x increase. So 2022 saw about 8 million per year produced, but we need about 85 million produced per year, which is the total production of vehicles, new vehicles every year right now, but most of them right now are internal combustion engine vehicles. Total solar, wind, and battery installed, base and investment needed, manufacturing capex, 10 trillion to get to fully sustainable. Environmental impact, displacing fossil fuels, and that's what Tesla does. We make products that displace fossil fuel alternatives. And they show a large battery installation next to a field of solar panels. Air pollution from burning fossil fuel leads to premature deaths. So yeah, it's not all about saving the planet. It's also about having healthy humans. So they say here, pollution from burning fossil fuel leads to 8 million premature deaths globally each year. That accounts for 1 in 5 premature deaths worldwide. This is a major advantage of zero emission products that is often forgotten. Our products are not just about the future of our planet, but also about addressing preventable deaths today. And one that you don't hear talked about very much at all is the fine particulate matter in the air. So this is a map showing Europe here and in 2023. Green dots are good, yellow dots unhealthy for sensitive groups, and purple very unhealthy. And I think if we overlaid the cities, you would see the very unhealthy parts are in the downtown parts of cities where most people live and most people drive. Tesla produced and delivered over 1.3 million EVs globally in 2022. Although we are focused on our own deliveries, electric vehicle sales by all car makers need to increase. We hope that every vehicle manufacturer will strive to produce hundreds of thousands of EVs per year, as significant reductions in emissions will only be achieved with an industry-wide shift. Emissions credit revenue is used for EV capacity expansion, which in turn displaces internal combustion engine vehicles. In 2022, we generated almost $1.8 billion in revenue selling zero-emission regulatory credits to other original equipment manufacturers, OEMs. While it is common practice today for ICE vehicle OEMs to purchase regulatory credits from other companies such as Tesla to offset their emissions, it is not a sustainable strategy. In order to meet increasingly strict regulatory requirements across the world, OEMs will be forced to develop truly competitive electric vehicles. So we see here Tesla leading the show in 2022 with fully electric vehicle sales, BYD in second. I'm not sure if this includes their plug-in hybrids. A single Tesla vehicle avoids 55 tons of CO2 over its life. After approximately 2 years of driving, an EV's lifetime emissions are lower than an ICE vehicle's. While EVs today still emit more greenhouse gases during the manufacturing phase, including emissions from the supply chain, it takes less than 2 years worth of driving before the total emissions from an EV fall below that of a comparable ICE vehicle. After 17 years of driving, the average life of a vehicle in the US, a single Tesla vehicle will avoid almost 55 tons of CO2 emissions. This number is conservative for two reasons. It assumes no improvement in grid emissions over time and that an ICE vehicle maintains its fuel efficiency throughout its life, which most likely it doesn't. An old ICE vehicle is going to get less and less efficient as the motor wears through use. Like the O-rings become worn and more oil passes by the O-rings and it burns more oil. There's less compression. As a nice vehicle ages, there's no doubt that it becomes less efficient. However, an EV actually becomes cleaner because the source of energy to charge the vehicle can become cleaner. It may be in its early years being charged from a power plant that burns coal, but 10 years later maybe that coal plant is gone and now the source of energy for that EV is cleaner. So EVs get cleaner over time, ICE vehicles get dirtier over time. In 2022, our customers avoided releasing about 13.4 million metric tons of CO2 emissions into our atmosphere. Average life cycle emissions, so just a breakdown of what I basically said there, how an electric vehicle is cleaner, and then as the shift to the greener grid, it becomes more clean. Carbon impact of ICE vehicles remains the same every year of use. The grid keeps getting cleaner while ICE vehicle emissions do not. Based on publicly available sales and fleet data, we estimate that an average vehicle in the US is scrapped after 17 years and slightly less than 200,000 miles of driving. As an ICE vehicle ages, its fuel efficiency only remains stable if serviced properly. Yeah, which I doubt everyone services their car properly. Meanwhile, electricity generation to charge EVs has become greener or cleaner over time with the addition of cleaner energy sources to the grid. EV drivers can increase their renewable energy mix by installing solar energy generation or storage system on their homes. So this is a chart just showing increased of zero emission sources over time, making EVs cleaner over time in the US. Greater efficiency than a Prius, performance of a Porsche. Model Y is the most efficient electric SUV. Tesla vehicles are among the most efficient SUVs built to date. Model Y all-wheel drive achieves 4.0 EPA miles per kilowatt hour, which makes it the most efficient electric SUV ever made, while achieving the best-in-class energy efficiency. Our all-wheel drive models also provide impressive acceleration and speed. Model Y, 0 to 60 miles an hour in 4.3 seconds, 135 mile an hour top speed. Model 3 long range all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds, 145 mile an hour top speed. Interesting to note that my 2014 Model S, which was a performance version, was rated to do 0 to 60 miles an hour in 4.2 seconds. So these much more affordable versions, the Model Y and 3, were about as fast for the Model Y, and the Model 3 even faster than what I would describe as way faster than ever needed to be vehicle that I had in the 2014 Tesla Model S. Even after 200,000 miles, our batteries degrade just 12%. And yeah, I can confirm this. When I sold my Model S 2014, it had just over 200,000 miles. It had about 207,000 miles, I believe. It was 335,000 kilometers, if I remember correctly. And this is roughly what I saw. I had 100% when it was new. Well, I bought it used, but it was pretty close to new with 22,000 kilometers on it. Over time, I lost a little bit, but I would say by the time I sold it, I had lost about 12%, and that is what this charge is showing here. So I would say that this is accurate in my case. I'm just one guy, but I'm sure Tesla has a lot more data, but I would confirm this data, and this is for Model S and X, so it looks about right to me. We often asked, will I need to replace my battery at some point in the future? The answer is no. Since we've been selling EVs for over a decade, we have a reliable data set that shows us battery degradation over time. We estimate that the vehicle gets scrapped after approximately 200,000 miles of usage in the US and roughly 150,000 miles in Europe. Even after 200,000 miles of usage, our batteries lose 12% of their capacity on average. And they note here, mileage is only one factor in battery capacity retention. Battery age is also a major factor. Retention figures at lower mileages above likely reflect the impact of age, while higher mileage values, which come from high utilization vehicles, likely reflect less influence from battery age. Performance of newer chemistries, not yet shown here, can vary, and we plan to expand disclosure once we have sufficient data. So yeah, this is looking at older batteries. I would think that they're focusing on this, and it's one of their focuses, and this is only going to improve over time, and it's already very acceptable. Like, I drove all over North America in my car, and I put 16, 17 years worth of driving on it, and I sold it in what some people would describe as almost new looking condition, with a battery that was healthy. It charged slower for sure, but for day-to-day driving, it was more than acceptable. Just the supercharging had slowed down, and they've definitely improved supercharging for new vehicles. So this is only getting better as time goes on. Reducing our manufacturing footprint, building more sustainable factories from the ground up, covering roof space with solar panels, leveraging AI to make our energy use more efficient. Producing an EV requires less water than producing an ICE vehicle. Each automaker may draw their boundaries slightly differently, depending on how vertically integrated they are. According to the latest publicly available figures, Tesla withdrew less water at facilities dedicated to vehicle manufacturing per vehicle produced than the majority of established automakers. We saw in Germany they got a lot of pressure about water use. Looks like they have pretty good numbers here for water usage in Giga Berlin, and it only makes sense. Like, the less water you use, the less it's going to cost. Like, you're motivated to use the least amount of water. Setting a new standard for water use per vehicle. Water-intensive process optimization, rainwater and condensate harvesting and reuse, reclaimed and recycled water. Product impact. Making EVs affordable. 49 cents per mile total cost of ownership for Model 3, standard range similar to a Corolla. High charger uptime, 5-star safety rating, slowest cost per watt. Solar, less than 0.001% failure rate of energy products. Affordability is key to mass adoption. Yeah, I don't think we need more advertising. We need more affordable EVs, and once they're more affordable, people will buy them. Short term, you might get more sales with some advertising, but long term, they need to be more affordable, and then more people will get them. Model 3 is the first EV to be priced on par with ICE vehicle equivalents. The accessibility of our products is fundamental to our mission. Model 3 is the first EV in history priced competitively with its gas-powered equivalents, even before taking into consideration any regional subsidies and lower running costs. Unfortunately, most other EVs on the market today are often priced at over a $10,000 premium compared to their direct ICE vehicle equivalents. Even our most affordable Model 3 comes standard with superior equipment and software, such as autopilot, over-the-air software updates, 4G connectivity, and in our view, the best infotainment system on the market. So they compare the Model 3 here at $40,000 with an Audi A4, BMW 3 Series, and a Mercedes C-Class. And as we can see, the Model 3 is a little cheaper than all of them. Model 3 total cost of ownership per mile is similar to a Toyota Corolla. While the sticker price of a Model 3 is similar to an equivalent BMW or Audi, the lifetime running costs of EVs are lower than those of ICE vehicles due to lower maintenance costs, cheaper electricity, and the high residual value of used Tesla vehicles. A note there that I could give on my 2014 Model S, I bought it for $85,000 in 2016, June of 2016, and I sold it for $33,000, going from 20,000 kilometers when I bought it to 335,000 kilometers when I sold it, and I still got 33,000 Canadian for that vehicle. So I would say that was decent for the amount of driving I did with it. That car doesn't owe me anything. Making EVs even more affordable. Our goal is to build and deliver 20 million vehicles a year by 2030. To achieve this goal, we need to make our products even more accessible. Affordability begins with how much it costs us to produce our vehicles. We were able to reduce the cost to build a single vehicle by almost 50% since 2018, with the introduction of Model 3 and Model Y, as well as the deployment of new, more efficient factories. And we're not done yet. During 2023 Investor Day, we outlined our goal of reducing that cost by another 50% with the introduction of our next generation platform. Yeah, the next gen, when that comes out, it's going to be game over for the competition. If not already, it's game over for them. I mean, look at this car. That's a sweet looking car. I like that new red. Our products are designed to be better in every way. We make products that people love. Consumers are unlikely to buy products just because they have a low lifetime carbon footprint. They need to be better in every way. Safer, more affordable, faster, and more fun. We are not just trying to build green products. We are committed to building the best products, period. And yeah, I would have to say I did love my Model S. I had a lot of fun with it. A lot of fun road trips. I liked stargazing in it with the big sunroof. I would sit on the console and stick my head out the sunroof and look at the stars. I really enjoyed that car. And then I got games in it, and romance mode and camper mode. It's a fun vehicle to own for sure. Chargers that just work. Average uptime of supercharger sites in 2018, 99.94%. Yeah, they're just killing it. Like, superchargers are way better than any other charging source that I went to. But my experiences at other chargers, I've spoken about this a few times, and it only takes a few episodes of this where you just don't trust their network anymore. It needs to be reliable. There were times when I went to Tesla superchargers and it didn't work. However, there was 8 stalls there, so I just had to move over to another stall, and I was good. And Tesla keeps expanding the numbers, so they seem to be balancing their production of vehicles with the number of superchargers needed. Other than in some high demand areas, I didn't live in a city like Toronto or Los Angeles, or where it seems busier and you could be lining up and you need them all working. I guess that's what happens when you make a product that everybody wants. You gotta move fast. But yeah, in my experience, I'm very happy with the supercharger sites. It was part of the fun for me to go to a supercharger. I didn't even care that I had to wait half an hour. Most of the time when I was going to a supercharger, it was on a long road trip. So I was in no hurry to get to where I was going. I was going on vacation for the most part, so I just saw it as part of the fun. It was a nice break. You driving for 2 or 3 hours straight is, you want to get out and stretch, and a 20-minute, half an hour break was nice. So I really enjoyed Tesla superchargers, exceeding safety standards across 4 continents. So yeah, Tesla's killing it in the safety department. If you want to own the safest vehicle possible, you want to own a Tesla. You want to be in the safest vehicle you can get. Highest score awarded Euro NCAP overall score 2020 to 2022 protocol. Not all active safety systems are created equal. The range of sensors, compute power, and quality of software and automatic emergency braking systems can vary dramatically across all vehicle makes and models. Our active safety features are powered by 8 cameras, a neural net computer, and learnings from our fleet of over 4 million cars built on a deep neural network. Tesla Vision deconstructs the vehicle's environment at greater levels of reliability than classical vision processing techniques can. Model Y is our latest vehicle to earn a 5-star safety rating from the European New Car Assessment Program, Euro NCAP, as part of this assessment. Model Y received the highest overall score among any vehicle tested under Euro NCAP. Model S and Model Y both received the highest overall safety scores among every vehicle tested by Euro NCAP in 2022. Safety is enhanced when autopilot is engaged. Number of vehicular accidents per millions in 2022. Tesla vehicles, autopilot engaged, mostly highway miles, 0.18 accidents per million miles. Tesla vehicles, FSD beta engaged, mostly non-highway miles, 0.31 accidents per million miles. Tesla vehicles with no active safety features, 0.68 accidents per million miles, and the average for the U.S. vehicle fleet is 1.53 accidents per million miles in 2022, based on our data of Tesla vehicles and NHTSA data of vehicles. So you see a lot of news out there talking about autopilot and FSD being dangerous. Well, these numbers seem to suggest differently. Yes, they're Tesla's numbers, so you have to question them. However, Tesla is clearly motivated. They don't want to have unsafe vehicles. It's not going to be good. So their motivation is to make vehicles as safe as possible. Now, does that mean these numbers are accurate? No, but you would think that they would want accurate numbers to know that what they are doing is correct. So I would tend to, I guess, accept at least initially that these numbers are accurate until I see data otherwise showing that no, Tesla's been lying about this. Real world crashes measured by impact. So these are actual crash data and showing where the impact happened. And Tesla looks at this more in depth than even the safety boards require them to. There's only 5 that they have to look at, but Tesla looks at this whole cloud of accidents. Tesla Energy is a one-stop shop. We have an entire ecosystem of energy products, including hardware and software across generation and storage. We also have project management capabilities and a strong deployment track record of getting projects done on time. Our energy products can serve many purposes, including reducing emissions, helping to prevent grid outages, and acting as backup power if the grid goes down. Customers can enjoy a seamless experience, whether they are a homeowner looking to achieve energy independence or a utility developer looking for the most cost-effective and reliable energy solutions. Pairing energy storage with renewables enables cost-effective stabilization and decarbonization of the grid. Renewables and energy storage are already cost-competitive. Megapack is cheaper per megawatt hour than many fossil fuel alternatives. A single Megapack XL has almost 4 megawatt hours worth of battery storage capacity, and given its scalability, enables projects over 1,000 megawatt hours. In 2022, in order to meet demand that is well in excess of supply for energy storage products, Tesla completed a new production facility called Megafactory, capable of producing 40,000 megawatt hours of energy storage per year. We also announced another Megafactory in China in early 2023. Zero direct emissions, built-in safety, 24/7 monitoring, exceed standards, proactive fire control, best-in-class performance, less than 0.001 failure rate. Safety is always our priority, and we continue to review, test, and update our safety requirements and procedures ahead of industry standards. Failure rates of Tesla energy storage products are extremely low and are lower than serious transformer fires. The risk of battery fires, as with all energy infrastructure, is never zero. If we account for all our energy products since inception, the failure rate is less than 0.001%. We expect this number to keep decreasing as we continually improve our products with over-the-air updates. Well, that's interesting. They improve even the Mega Pack with over-the-air updates. People and culture, attracting talent. Our employees are critical to our mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. To sustain our pace of innovation, we must ensure we attract, develop, and retain a talented workforce with ample opportunity to contribute to our mission and grow professionally. Our greatest asset is our people. We are committed to providing a workplace where our employees feel respected, satisfied, and appreciated. Our policies are designed to promote fairness and respect for everyone. We hire, evaluate, and promote employees based on their skills and performance. There's a good shot of the team. We grew by 29,000 employees last year globally. To shift humanity away from fossil fuels, we need extreme scale. Headquartered in Texas, we operate 6 huge vertically integrated factories across 3 continents. Our teams design, build, sell, and service our products in-house. As of December 31st, 2022, our full-time count for our employees and our subsidiaries' employees worldwide was almost 128,000, a 29,000 year-over-year increase. Half of our workforce is in manufacturing roles with a focus on building our products. So we see in 2010 they had 900 employees, 10x by 2014, and then another 10x by 2021, and still growing. Engineering students want to work for Tesla and SpaceX more than any other organization. At Tesla, meaningful engineering ideas can come from interns, analysts, or executives. We strive to minimize red tape so our engineers can be creative and solve engineering problems that have never been solved. This has been, as far as I know, for the past 5-10 years, according to polls. Engineering students, their number one place they want to work, SpaceX or Tesla. I think they've switched back and forth a couple times for number 1 and 2, but engineering students want to work on things that Elon is working on. It's where, in my opinion, it's where the innovation is happening. And I studied mechanical engineering, and I wanted to be involved in innovative things. So I kind of see where they're coming from. So yeah, we see General Motors, BMW, and the numbers aren't. BMW is 19. So they have to skip some numbers to include some of these here. Honda, number 28. So the best of the best want to work for SpaceX and Tesla, and then General Motors, BMW, Honda, they get the B rate, C rate engineers. We received 3.6 million job applications in 2022, and I was one of them, but I never heard from Tesla. But that's all right. We strive to have the safest and healthiest operations in the world. Tesla is all about safety for sure. Supply chain, 800 plus suppliers engaged in responsible sourcing. 12 materials with increased visibility, 3x increase in direct supplier audits, 3 greenhouse gas hotspot analysis completed to cover our cathode chemistries. First worldwide battery passport piloted. Our batteries rely on critical minerals. Batteries drive Tesla's sustainability mission. Our cathodes and anodes contain critical minerals like lithium, nickel, cobalt, copper, graphite, manganese, iron, and phosphorus. Lithium, nickel, and cobalt play an essential function in improving vehicle range and safety performance. While the relative amount of minerals needed for each cathode chemistry varies, Tesla's cell production growth rate will increase our demand for primary mined minerals. These are essential for the transition to sustainable energy. A significant part of battery cell costs is lithium, nickel, and cobalt. Direct sourcing from mining and refining companies allows us to engage in environmental and social issues in local contexts. Instead of having to rely on companies that typically sit between EV manufacturers and mining, this enables more transparent and traceable supply chain data. All contracts include binding environmental and social requirements. Nickel and cobalt saw year-over-year increases. So this is their increase of direct sourcing. Extracting these minerals and the contribution to CO2 impact. So Tesla is also focusing on sourcing of their materials and the greenhouse gas emissions emitted by trying to source those minerals. And that's it for the highlighted version of Tesla's impact report for 2022. It's quite a long one there, but lots of good information and good to see what Tesla's up to. My name's Evan Bertrand. This is the Evergreen channel. Subscribe if you like by clicking on the wheel. And thanks for watching.